The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
98 KUPD. There you go. Thank you, Silence the Voice. Somebody said that. Said Floyd Mayweather telling somebody with nails they didn't want to take their picture. It's kind of on brand. And that's the thing. I don't understand that. Yeah, I, as a fan of boxing, would love to go over to Floyd Mayweather and say, hi, how are you? But I have a feeling he's set it up to where it'd be like, I better not, just in case he disappoints me. Like I said, that podcast I wanted to do years ago, All Your Heroes Are Assholes. If you really got to know them, you wouldn't want. I sat 2 seats behind Mike Tyson. I've met Mike Tyson once, and he was so drugged up I didn't know what to do. I don't know. It wasn't like street drugs either. He was like keep you calm drugs. Like he was weeded up.
He was on a Xanax.
He was on something, and it was hilarious. And then saw him at the fight at a one of the fights I went to in Vegas, and a couple rows up. And I'm like, I would love to go over and chat with him, but I don't know what to expect, and I don't want this image wrecked. But, yeah, you go to Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather treats you like a dick. That's on brand. He hasn't disappointed you at all. Floyd Mayweather is supposed to have that. This guy writes, he says, I have a story that can relate to the topic of celebrities getting angry. Dallas Supercross, 2004, my family was walking through the pits, checking out the riders and their bikes before the races. And at one point, we're hanging out near, and he wrote, Rocky Carmichael. It's Ricky Carmichael. Even I know that because of all the years here listening to David Lee go, Ricky Carmichael. I don't think I can see his name and not hear that. At one point, we were hanging out near Ricky Carmichael, the goat of the sport.
He's the GOAT, but you got the name wrong. But okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's Tim Brady of football. While we were prepping to go out, my brother started to scream and cry the entire time. Ricky looked over and said, will somebody shut that damn kid up? Ricky wasn't wrong because it was what everyone else was thinking. But, of course, he's the celebrity, and now he hates kids. Hilarious, though. And it's a story you'll never forget. I prefer those over the ones where I went and met Ricky Carmichael, and he was very nice. Shook my hand, and here's the picture. Boring. Give me one where Ricky Carmichael took a swing at your infant son. Now we're cooking. Now we're like, shut up. It's too great.
But now that you have that picture, and when years from now, right, you have that picture with Ricky Carmichael, and he passes away, now you can post that saying, legend passed away. Here I am with my good friend.
Being his best friend. Right. Hilarious. I also saw in the news last night something that was sort of disturbing. There's a truck driver shortage, and in an effort to fix that, they're offering $100,000 in a quick class to get people out on the street. I'm like, oh, God, I don't. No.
Maybe those autonomous ones that they're doing down
yeah, exactly. I'd rather have a driverless cars take over than a guy who's like, wow, quick class, 18-wheeler, $100,000, I'm in. I don't want people.
And did you hear the other thing talking about lowering?
Oh, God, no.
To 18 years old.
Oh, dropping their age.
25 is the before you can get your whatever
class,
series,
whatever license, right?
Let me just
now they're thinking there's so much of demand. They're like, we might drop it down to 18 to get those.
My kid's 2 years away from.
Can you imagine?
18. He's not going to.
I'm moving.
All of a sudden, be something more that you want behind the wheel.
But
of an
he'd be motivated by
$100,000.
Oh, that's huge,
and he'd do it.
I don't know.
He would show up.
He would start.
Class.
He would start for it. Yeah, he would start the class.
Think of who you're talking to when you say, "Hey, we'll speed the class up. You'll be behind the wheel making $100,000 in no time." You're talking to losers.
My C&D student. That's who you want in that class.
That's who you're going to have behind the wheel, making $100K, feeling like if you jump out of high school at $100,000 with limited training and you're running 18-wheeler, everyone's going to get killed.
Yeah, you don't want to quickie approval license on that.
Your dad ran trucks. Like, it's
all
not
my life,
It's not a me's job.
No.
Yeah, you got to be alert. You have to have a great methamphetamine connection. You have to have all sorts of stuff that makes it so you can drive and be alert at all times. 18-year-olds, their minds are all over the place. And imagine the AIDS and herpes at truck stops with 18-year-old kid and his libido and these hookers that come rolling up at the Rip Griffins.
They're all
terrible
Rip
idea.
Griffins. They're $5 Buc-ee's a day.
Oh, they'd be dead. You'd never get a shipment because they'd just be getting BJs from those trucker trash hookers that hang around down there. Oh, I didn't like this at all. I don't like when they raise the price for a thing and then say, and we're going to make it easier for people to do it. If you're going to raise the salary, raise the standard. Yeah. Don't lower the standard and pay more money. That's terrible to do to the guys who've been doing it for a long time.
That's their quandary.
It's awful. It's not a quandary. Just, you know what? And plus, we're going to be paying more in the end because you got to pay truck drivers more. All the goods and services will cost more. The quandary is us calming down a little bit about our orders. That's about it. So you can't get mangoes for an extra week. Calm down. I'm not paying Toledo's dolt of a child to drive an 18-wheeler from here to there. $100,000 a year. Oh, could you imagine the arrogance on Alex if he got a check? He's making a six
moving
figures.
out, Dad.
He's crushing it.
And he'd be 18, so he'd be able to do whatever the hell he wants.
And he'd still be asking for cash and drinking your strawberry schnapps.
Yep. Hey, Dad, I spent $20,000 of that on a BMW E30.
How fast would he be?
He's delivering Smirnoff products.
Right. How fast would he be fired?
Now, that job he'd be good at.
He'd do that now for half. And he would
do it for a case.
And he'd get fired for drinking it.
He'd be Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
He'd be.
How fast would your kid lose his job for picking up Adrian and going on a run?
Oh, God.
In the truck, in the semi.
First day.
So I'm not supposed to have a friend in the cab, Dad, but that's such crap. Because who am I supposed to talk to?
Like, I don't know how it was here because this is such a big city, but like in small town Montana, we cruise the drag every day. And so my stepdad was a truck driver, and I always wanted to take the semi and cruise the drag. And if we had that going in Mesa, like if that was something that Alex would do, he would 100% do that on day one and lose his job or run it into a telephone pole
into a
or
river.
Into the canal.
Breaker, Strawberry 23, looking for a northbounder.
Brady, please, it would be Strawberry 69.
Yeah.
And his partner, Smirnoff. Smirnoff shortcake. 23. Please, they'd go straight for the lowest hanging fruit ever.
We're going to have to write that movie now.
Strawberry 69 and Smirnoff. Cross-country 18-year-olds? No. And then they'll get, hey, you're old enough to go into the military and die for you. I'd rather have you doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want you armed on the streets. I want you on the desert shooting foreigners.
That has a better structure.
Yeah.
Of knowing what to expect.
Give me an 18-year-old with a CDC license and all that stuff driving around in Iraq and accidentally running over their families. Not us. If I want families to die at the hands of an 18-year-old, I don't want it to be in country. Overseas somewhere, running over foreigners. I can live with that. I watch that on the news every day, and it doesn't affect me at all. You get it here, an 18-year-old boy ran over a family in Gilbert. Like, oh, that's tragic. Maybe someone I know knows them. You get them over there running over a whole gaggle of Iraqis. I'm like, good. I think it's probably for the best. You don't know. You just turn the news off. You start watching Family Feud again. You shut her down. It's crazy. But, yeah, no. I understand that there's a shortage, but look, we have a shortage in promotions people at the station, but the last thing we need to do is jack up the price for these weed-head mid-20-year-olds can't get their lives together and pay them more money to be responsible. No. I like a lot of our promo people, but if there was an IQ test requirement, we wouldn't have anybody left. Save for maybe, I don't know, maybe Nerf Beard. I don't know him that well.
Man Bun might. Man Bun would make it through.
Nerf Beard and Man Bun.
Just think of the amount of spoils on the roads. You could just follow down the highway and pick up whatever semis jackknifed or turned over.
No, my son would leave the door open.
He'd run. Your kid would leave after he jackknifed. So you're right, Brady. If it's a Hostess truck, you're in.
No, he'd be Chuck Powell's. He'd be
Load
Chuck
it up,
Powell's brother.
Yeah, Brady would have that thing. He would do that. You know when moms get superhuman strength when a car's on a baby? If a Hostess truck was sideways, Brady could lift the semi back to its.
The truck chasers.
It's back to normal now. I'm taking it home.
But you're right. My kid would be Chuck Powell's brother.
Yeah, put it right in the river.
He'd dump it in the Mississippi and then just hitchhike home.
Yep, and run away from it. First day on the job, drove
this
it
job
right in.
sucks.
Anyway, I saw that on the news, and I'm like, yeah, it's a high demand deal, but don't start giving them six figures out the gate at age
Christmas
18.
right around the corner, John.
And it better be just a false promise, like the $100,000 a year is not for all of them, but for one lucky driver that passes all the tests properly. Not the quick. Well, we're going to make it a real fast thing. They're 80,000 drivers short, though.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of trucks.
They're saying, because a lot of those truckers have been doing it for years. They're at that retirement age. Can't get that new generation to get them in the rigs.
Why would they? You got Oculus. I can see the world through the Oculus.
It's a brutal job.
Yeah, it is a brutal, time-consuming, body-beating
pressure
job. Yeah.
This guy, don't show your kid this one till you don't. I make $160K plus $40K in benefits every year driving an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
No, I know it's out there.
Alex out.
Yeah, they make good money, and they should.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough gig.
No.
And it's not for dummies. I've said that. Like, truck drivers, they're portrayed as like these rednecks, and some of them are. But they're portrayed as these rednecks that just do meth and coke and murder people.
And some of them are.
And some of them are. And some of them, in fact, they're all that. I mean, that's a pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate to the entire industry.
However, we want autonomous trucks.
You can't be stupid and a serial killer at the same time. So it's actually a really well thought out.
But right now, I can't get my kid to drive on the freeway. So
give him $100,000. I'll bet he'd jump on the freeway.
I'm not sure right now. We drove down Gilbert Road, which was 6 lanes and around Southern. I thought he was going to freak out.
Yeah. Wait, it sounds like $100,000, some strawberry schnapps, and a bag of dicks. That kid will be out on the 60 in no time.
He'll get that Coors to Boston.
That strawberry, so he's never going to hear the end of that one. That's good stuff. Nope. Strawberry vodka, it's even worse. It's not even schnapps. Yeah. It's like schnapps.
Well, it's stronger.
You'd forgive. You don't jump in on the vodka. Strawberry, just drink a different flavor. Something weird about the strawberry. It's like drinking Skinny Girl vodka. Like he's sneaking mom's Skinny Girl. Like, stop it. Just drink the regular
ice or something.
Whatever's
like that.
available.
Right. They go after whatever's available. But that was just, I like strawberries. Do you, Adrian? I love that his friend name is Adrian.
You had so many choices.
There's a lot to choose from anymore.
Malibu.
No.
Stronger stuff.
That's Twinkie.
Yeah. 5 different kinds of whiskey.
Yeah, Malibu and spiced rum, twink drinks.
Yeah.
And I know that. As a twink, I can say
Lisa's.
that. Yeah.
Captain Morgan's.
Right. Yeah,
like 3 different kinds of spiced rum.
Yeah. Well, I always say that when I have a man friend. This has been a joke of mine since I was like 30. But whenever a man goes, "Oh, I have a spiced rum and Coke," and I'm like, "Oh, is the rest of your sorority showing up later today, or what's gonna?" That is such a college girl drink. Oh, I like spiced rum. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
Well, let me introduce you to my erection because I think you'll know what to do with it.
I had a buddy show up at the bar one time and order a Colorado Bulldog. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
Wow.
What the hell is wrong with you?"
Well,
wrong kind of bar, pal.
Man.
Larry McFeely.
Oh,
his favorite drink is a Midori Sour, and he never and to his credit,
he sticks with it.
He sticks with it. Larry gets that
He's
nuclear
not been
green,
off of that one.
and he should have been years ago. But I like him.
And we've tried.
We've tried.
We've tried to shame him.
Yeah. Larry's not a drinker. He likes the puff, but he's that Midori comes to the table and
puff. Okay, I was thinking of something else.
Gentlemen.
Oh no. Okay.
Sorry, but you said Midori.
You would assume with the drink. That's what I meant. That's not what I was saying at all.
Larry's wildly against that.
Yeah. Larry is not going to puff. Brett was referring to Peter Puff.
Your lifestyle.
Well, the thing that I'm aiming to do is blow a bunch of dudes.
A bunch?
Oh yeah, eventually. Once I get over the fear, it's almost my. I feel like Kyrie Irving. I'll do it. I'll get to it. Just not because you told me to. I'm a virtuous homosexual.
Go my ears. I know what I'm doing.
I'm saving my virginity for that. Exactly. I'm saving my virginity for that perfect fella. And it's going to be a long hunt.
Whoa.
But in the meantime,
Whoa.
I said hunt, settle down. I wouldn't use the other word.
You.
Thank you, Brady. Brady's refined.
Of course, Brady heard you. He can't hear that one.
Yeah, I know. He's got one. Yeah, he wouldn't hear the bad one. Every time we say something bad, Brady's just in his head. You just hear...
So long drive by Castellanos.
He just goes right into the broadcast.
He's a good man of faith. Whatever's happening in here, Castellanos just hit a home run.
We talked a little about Tom Brady's football, the 600th football. It's still driving me crazy that the guy gave it back.
Did you hear what he said he gave him last night?
They upped it.
Well, they upped it because of pressure.
Yeah.
Initially,
Is
did you
it not
see it?
there yet?
Did you? It's not $500,000 cash, which is what he would have been able to sell it back to the team for. It's not that. They offered him a $1,000 gift card to the
Not
team
offered,
shop.
he got it.
Well, he got it.
Yeah.
Initially. And a
2 years of
game-worn
season
jersey
Yeah.
by Tom Brady and season tickets.
2 jerseys,
Yeah.
2 signed jerseys from Brady.
Here was the fun part about the jerseys.
Mike Evans.
They were
cleats.
game-worn that game. He only wore 1 jersey that game, so immediately it was a lie. Immediately it was
it
a
could
lie.
have been one.
They gave him another
But
jersey.
they said to the press, he got 2 Tom Brady game-worn jerseys from the game he threw 600. You can't do that.
He changes it at the end.
Okay, maybe he does, but he did. He only wore 1 jersey when he threw that 600th pass. And now,
I see what you're saying.
and now
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got
yeah. You're
2 Tom Brady autographed jerseys, which, by the way, diminishes the value of an autographed Tom Brady
Right, you
jersey. The
flooded
more
the
of them there
market.
are, the less they're worth. There is 1 football that was the 600th, the first time a quarterback threw a 600th touchdown. There is 1. It is a one of a kind. It is a jewel in the sports world. It's the Honus Wagner currently of football
And
memorabilia.
isn't it on Mike Evans to buy that back? He's the one that gave it away.
Well, the guy gave it back to a team
I
official.
understand
It's
that.
on the guy who that didn't say it's a business. And here's why I say that. Michael Jordan's rookie shoes just auctioned for $1.47 million. An autographed pair of Michael Jordan's original Jordan 1s, the first manufactured version of the Jordan. And as a sneaker person now, that I love these sneakers, but I'm not like a trader. I'm not the guy who's going for value. I just like them all. I want a ton of sneakers. I'm not the guy that's like, these are worth $3,000 and I got this. I don't care about their value. I
Do
don't
you know how much the ones you have are worth?
don't care. I absolutely do not care. I've got a couple that are probably pretty good. I wear them. I don't care. I'm in it to wear them. I'm in it to have a bunch of fresh shoes. That's all I like. A fresh pair every day. There's something
You're
special.
going to have that Anthony Anderson closet with all
That's
those.
who
with all
motivated me. When I saw his closet on TV, I'm like, I got to get one of those. So, and then I started buying tennis shoes. So I got loads of tennis shoes. And I like new ones. I'm not interested in collecting. I'm not a collector. I'm just that.
You don't like broken-in shoes?
When you buy good shoes, they don't
What?
need to be broken
What's
in.
that?
Yeah, I know. Pay less, you go nuts. But you're going to take 4 weeks to try to break in those clogs.
$50.
It's amazing. When
It's tough to break
it's
in wood
amazing.
clogs.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. So the $1.47 million for Jordan shoes, and everybody's like, what a lucky guy that got a hold of those. This was the dude who had Brady's football.
Yeah.
This was it. And upping it to a $1,000 gift card.
Now he's got Brady gave him
painful.
a Bitcoin.
Yeah, Brady gave him a Bitcoin last night.
And then
64K.
Give him 500 grand.
And then
Period. Because the Bitcoin can crash. That's a lottery ticket.
It can
The
also
football-
it
the
can
football
also
can,
become
too.
$500,000.
The football can't crash right now when the price is 500
For a
grand
while.
and they want it.
No, Brady, he's saying you got to strike now because
They want it right now.
that way you
Yeah.
avoid all things in the market.
You don't have. You're not hanging on to that football. You want it right now. Buccaneers are demanding, like, we need that football for the. Okay, then there's a price to pay for this football, and they would pay it, and that bothers me because they play. I hate when they play on our fan emotions, and they do it all the time. It's only a business for them, but the fan emotion, like, we buy jerseys, we buy season tickets, we get the extra little package so you can get a free hot dog and hamburger, and then it costs you an extra $3,000 a
And
year.
then they're out.
And then they don't have any Dos Equis. Trust me, I know this as a season ticket holder in the Dos Equis lounge. I'll have 2 Dos Equis. Well, you can't. You can only have one because my friend's right over there. If he waves, I'll give you 2. He waves. Okay, we're out of Dos Equis. Well, what do I do now in the Dos Equis lounge in the first quarter? But yeah, we have to think as fans, this is also a business.
what
And
if they didn't up it at all? Just left it as it was yesterday. I mean, they would.
He gave the ball back already
I know, but I'm saying, but they came back and gave him more stuff
because of pressure. And if they do it again, he's got no leverage left.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they didn't
He
even
don't
have to
the ball.
do that.
He doesn't have the ball.
He gave it back.
He
and-
can't even get mouthy.
He's
The-
just got bad press. That's
Yeah,
the
the
only
I know
only-
what
thing
happened.
now.
I mean, the NFL gets some bad press again for
don't
about a
care.
week, and then it's gone.
They got
shrug-
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
they don't care
shrug
about
that
bad
stuff
press.
off.
Here's the fun of
Yeah.
it. Here's the fun that I like most of all is that the only return on investment you get as a fan, unless you're a Bears fan, Brett, is emotional joy. That's it. Your
But
only
now-
ROI is that. Toledo, that's it.
No, I know.
You get
But
nothing
I'm
back
saying
from your team outside of emotion.
Don't you have to kind of pile onto this guy a little bit too instead of just the team? Because this guy is
Yeah,
doing the media
that's who I'm
tour.
piling on.
I thought you were piling on the team a
No,
little
he
bit,
should have
not
never given that
offering up
ball
more.
back.
Yeah.
Ever.
Because now all he says is, well, maybe a round of golf with Tom Brady would be
Yeah.
cool.
Idiot. Again, what's he getting? What's the currency he gets
says,
out
no,
of that?
here's a Bitcoin.
Yeah, here's a Bitcoin, and I'm not hanging out with you. You're a weirdo. And basically making him feel even worse. Your return on investment as a fan.
That'll be later on today.
Your return on investment as a fan is complete emotional currency only. And they know it, and they've done it. And I'm victim to it like nobody. I've added part of my home extension is Steelers-based, Cubs-based, an entire sports bar type arena I built on my house to celebrate the emotional currency that the Steelers give or don't give. And it feels good when it's great, and it feels terrible when it's bad because I'm emotionally invested. That's called emotional investment. They use business terms for your emotions for a reason, because you're investing your feelings. And all they're doing is like, well, it's a business. I'd love to stay for the fans, but if the team can't do that, I have to make what's right for my family. If you happen to be, in the future, the recipient of the 550th home run of a Diamondback, it'll never happen. They don't hold on to anybody long. It never happened. But if you happen to catch a souvenir that you realize is historic, if you had Barry Bonds third, if you had, what did he end up with, 70? Was it 73? That's the record.
73.
If you had any of those moments, if you had Mark McGuire's 500, if you have Willie Mays' do not give it back at all. Remember what a player would say to you on TV. It's a business, period.
Somebody brought this up on morning radio today, though, but isn't baseball a little bit different because you expect balls to leave the yard there and they're yours?
They still come get them.
In football.
When they're historic.
But in football, the ball doesn't go into the stands that often. They have nets for the kicks. They have
harder to get.
Harder to
More
get.
value.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. This guy handing that ball back because that Buccaneer. Had they waited a day and one John Holmberg friend got into this guy's ear and said, "You do not give that ball back at all. You are sitting on a gold mine, and there are pirates at the gate. Do not give that ball back. You're a Buccaneers fan, and they're going to play on that. They got him during the game for a reason." He's euphoria. He's in a euphoric state. It's like after sex, if your wife asks you something and you're like, this is great. Yeah, I'll do it. And you end up doing a chore or something because she just blew you. Like, what am I doing? Like, how did this just happen? I'm cleaning the garage and my legs are barely under me. It's that euphoric condition that where you can prey on a human being and they will not make a logical choice. Man, he needed one of me sitting next to him. He had a Brady next to him.
That's awesome. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame on a video.
What a story you'll be able to tell your grandkids.
Yeah, exactly. Stories get nothing.
Can I put this on my Instagram?
Yeah. Oh, boom. No, he wouldn't be smart enough to put it on there because it's actual entertainment.
It's an animal chewing on it.
If there was a praying mantis on it or something. But I hate that story because the flip side is this dude who owned the Jordan shoes, and I don't know if it was a guy or a group or whatever, just got $1.47 million for a pair of used shoes from an insignificant game. Just happened to be on the GOAT.
Rookie year,
pair of Nikes that was like, this is the first real batch of Jordans.
And you know me, there's a lot of those.
No one knew at the time the Jordan shoe would be worth something. No one knew that he was going to be the greatest of all time as a rookie. So no one from the Bulls went over to the fan and said, hey, we'd like to get those. We think those will be worth something someday. Because you'd give them back. Do not do it.
Didn't the Jordan flu shoes sell for
flu shoes were
games?
like 700,000 or 800,000.
Yeah.
And that was playoffs, right?
The flu shoes were, was that 3s or 4s or something? I don't remember which.
Oh, they were 12s.
Or were they
11s,
12?
yeah.
Oh, that was much later,
Yeah.
right? And they're great.
Oh,
and so I've got a bunch of 12s now, new ones, because they love the 12s and 13s, and they're great.
You guys are speaking.
Well,
Mandarin
it's just
right now.
it's just a one.
Here, I'll pull them up here.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
What if
I have the Obsidian too, which is just you got to look those up. Those
back
are
to
awesome.
the Tampa Bay thing?
Yeah.
What if they took, because each team brings 12 balls,
yeah,
right, or something like that? What if they would have taken one of the other balls and had it's a 600? This isn't the actual ball, and it's signed by Brady and
Zero
Mike
value.
Evans.
It has zero
and
value.
they put that one in the game. It's not the game ball. The
Throw it in
original
the
is
trash.
owned by so and so. You don't think is there value on that ball?
No, is it worth the autograph of Mike Evans? And I was at.
Well, that it's a ball from the game.
Nope.
Nope.
It's not the ball. Like you can say, look, if Mark McGuire's 70th home run went out and you caught it, and they're like, here's another ball from the game, you can't claim it's that ball.
Yeah,
it
the
has
record
no
breaker
value.
opposed to
it
the
has no value.
73rd.
Yeah. If you have a chunk of a Titanic replica, it's worth nothing. Yeah, those are I have the Easter ones of those too. Those are super comfortable shoes. I like those a lot. The flu shoes are
Jordan
pretty cool.
12s.
Yeah, the 12s are great. Oh, those are great. I want to order those. Yeah, I'm going to order those.
They're available?
I thought you just said you have them.
No, I have a white pair with the light blue on the bottom. I have the black and red. I like those.
I don't know if they I don't know if they repop these colors. Well, they did in 16, I guess.
Yeah.
$3.99 new. I used.
Well,
for
that's
$85.
off those things. I don't go off those sites. See, and that's why I'm not a collector.
That's
I don't want to
another
get.
app that my kids.
I don't want to get in on. Well, that's just the Nike app, which is great. I don't want to get involved in the whole after trade because there's so many phonies out there and people that are stealing from people. I just buy off of Nike. I just like Nike's shoes now. I used to not, and now I love them because you spend a little extra, you get better quality. I've 83 pairs since June.
Those kids are making some good shoes right now.
Oh, yeah, those little guys. I mean, I've made some carpal tunnel happen over there in some swampland in Asia somewhere. I don't know where these are made, but there's a kid out there going, oh, I wish he'd stop ordering my hands.
They appreciate your 37 cents that they're making off
a
of
year.
you.
They're not getting 37 cents. Maybe total since
That's
I've
what I
started
mean,
ordering.
yeah, with your 80 pairs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've gone nuts. But bottom line, it bothers me beyond anything that you know, and I know I'm emotionally invested in the Steelers, and I would struggle if I was there for a historic moment and then Hines Ward handed me the ball and it was going to the Hall of Fame and then a team rep came over. You'd feel like the biggest dick in the world, and that's why they did it in a crowd. They'd come over and go, hey, this is huge. It's NFL history. We'd like that ball back. Like, sorry, it's mine now. And I think I'd walk out of the stadium like, no, you're not playing on my emotion because I'm invested. I don't want to be taken advantage of. And boy, does sports take advantage of us. This comes from a guy who's done it his whole life. Like, I've seen all of it. And there's a certain point where you're like, what am I getting back from this? Like, with my financial investment, is my emotional return of value. And so far, so good. But if I ever stumbled across the glory of having an Easter egg like that football land in my hands,
it's no investment.
It's not. It's like a car. It's not. Most of the time, you're going to lose. But even with cars, occasionally you'll grab that Mustang that becomes something amazing, and you bought it for $3,000, and the next thing you know, it's $1.5 million. The Steve McQueen bullet car.
Oh yeah.
It's just a basic Mustang. It has a history. So it was the one. You can't have one that looks like it and have the same Barrett Jackson value. You have to have the bullet Mustang. And the guy who had it parked it. Steve McQueen's family never came and said, look, we'll give you a $1,000 gift card to Walmart and an autographed Steve McQueen T-shirt. And he would have said no, and people would have
sold.
Said, but with sports, it's different. Like, could you imagine if the McQueen estate went to that guy and said, we know you got the bullet car?
Well, they tried to buy it years ago. Steve did. They were going to basically give him a new Mustang. They were going to just trade him. And he's like, nah.
Because he's smart.
Yeah, right.
And the emotion was gone.
Yep.
If it was the first day and the McQueens did it, he'd probably taken the new Mustang.
Yeah.
But the emotion was gone, and he realized, that's not enough. This car has tons more value. I can get that. And that's what you have to do. Oh, that football is driving me nuts. And watching ESPN yesterday.
Will they come back again for a third, add more to it?
They'll never get to the number.
No.
They'll never actually pay the value of that ball.
Well, so he's got a Bitcoin. That's what, $50,000?
63.
Yeah, 63.
And what are season tickets going for?
He's got season ticket a pair for the rest of this season
25.
and then for next year. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably 50. He'd probably get 100,000 in stuff.
Right.
10 games at $200 a ticket.
Okay.
So $400 a game.
Yeah.
$4,000.
Yeah. So he's got like 25. He's got $100,000 worth of things. It's nice.
Maybe.
But he had a football worth $5. And people are like, you take the stuff and you're fine. Like, you had one worth $5. If I told you this was worth $500,000, I'll give you $100,000 for it. Would you think I was a dick?
That's a deal.
Yeah. And they're the ones who estimated how much it was worth. That was the worst. But NFL says this ball could go for at least $500,000. Anyway, we gave him about 100,000 tchotchkes, one in which could just collapse. The bottom could fall out of it. Tom Brady's endorsement. It didn't cost Tom Brady a penny, by the way, because he endorses that crypto.
Yeah.
So they just gave him one.
One.
Here, you just give him a coin. It's worth some good stuff. They gave him a Bitcoin. But I'm like,
how much good press would Tom Brady have gotten if he's stroking him a check for $500,000?
Well, even if it was for $250, because it was just an estimated price. But even just a cash offer. Quit giving me a basket of treats.
Yeah,
give me some money. Give me something I can pay bills with.
I don't need the Jeter gift basket.
I don't need the DVD of Shallow Hal,
which would have been huge.
a picture of
to
my
add
wife.
To the this guy's the greatest of
it
all
would be
time.
amazing, and he still might.
But instead, he's like, he's an unbelievable bargainer, too.
He's shrewd. Oh, it drives me nuts. And then watching that thing with Jordan Shoes yesterday, $1.4 million. All that dude had to do was hold on to that ball, and the value would have just gone up because now he won't get rid of it. Bad news, have to take it back to his cruddy Tampa apartment across from the Mons Venus and have some stripper and a giant bodyguard come steal it when they find out he's got it because you don't keep that quiet. That Bartman ball, had they not blown that up, would have been like a ridiculous amount of money. And there are rumors that they blew up a fake ball and the Bartman ball's still out there. But who's going to prove that?
How much was the Bartman ball?
Well, like they don't know, but like years from now, the estimate would be if you had it, it would be worth a ton. Mm. But they supposedly blew it up, and now you can't prove if like I've got the real Bartman, prove it.
Right.
So they know better. The value of that would be amazing. But the one that's at Harry Carey's in Chicago is still in the glass box, all shredded and blown up. There's so much sports memorabilia out there that, like, if you got your hands on it and gave it back out of them, it drives me crazy. Oh, I hate emotional terrorism because essentially what it is, they played your emotions. You're not a real Buccaneers fan. Tom Brady's been a Buccaneer for like a minute. You're not a real Bucs fan unless you give, the legend that built Tampa his ball back. He's been here for like 5 minutes. And he made a business decision to come here, by the way. So, nah. Oh, it's bananas. I also realized while I was reading the news this morning that I am never not going to be a child. I don't know who this is, but the headline, this headline will make you stop. Like, you could be the most serious human being on the planet in the midst of a, geopolitical debate, and you need to do some research. And you will stop immediately. You could be in the middle of like, hey, we're 10 minutes away from a nuclear war. Get online and find this out for me. And then this pops up. You are going to stop everything you're doing. Headline, Kenya Moore reveals, my breasts never stopped growing. She had breast lift and reduction following her daughter's birth. See before and after photos here. Okay. First off, who's Kenya Moore? Found out she's a Real Housewife of Atlanta.
Just going to ask you.
No idea. But once I started to look, I realized her breasts never stopped growing, and they are fantastic. So right now, if I'm in charge of the, like Syria's about to bomb us or something, like I'm going to stop here for a second on this. And then I went to her Instagram page to see how big they were.
She's the second most popular Kenya search behind the country.
Well, that's pretty
on
good.
Google.
You're only losing to a place I don't want to go. Of the two Kenyas I would visit, she's first.
Third is Kenyan Drake.
That's
fourth is
can
Kenyan
power.
Yeah, but can power dominated me. I was kind of busy, I'm doing some research to see what's going on in the world. Like, what did I miss last night? What's going on? And then the third story, my breasts never stopped growing. Click.
Is it sponsored content?
No, and that's the thing. I looked for the little ad or sponsored. It wasn't there, and I'm like, this is gold because it's real. Yeah, she's got a set on her. And, Jesus, God almighty, that tattooed guy from yesterday.
There she is.
And those have been reduced and grew back.
Those have been reduced?
And they grew back. Wow. They won't stop.
How dare they reduce?
Miracle.
I know. Oh, my goodness. And they're fantastic. And then I think she had them touched up. She got a lift, reduced, lift. They grew some more. That girl in high school that I knew had triple J's and like a 20-inch waist. And she had to get them reduced because her bras were chopping up her shoulders, like cutting into her. She couldn't get – she had a special order. So she got them reduced back to C's. And then by the end of her senior year, they were double D's again.
Thank God.
They wouldn't stop. And I'm like, this is a sign from Brady's God. And I didn't even know Brady then. So that all you need to do is for the next 8 years while you look great from the ages of 16 to 24 is show these to everyone for a fee, and you're never going to work a day in your life. And then guess what? You lay down because your back hurts from those huge cans. Yeah, those are magnificent. See what this story did? Again, we could have been solving the world's problems. Quote, my breasts never stopped growing.
It's a saltine. It cleanses.
Click. I don't even remember what I was in the middle of.
Nope.
I think I was reading about Biden's infrastructure plan.
Stop it. You were not.
Yeah, I was. I'm curious about it. It's going to cost me a fortune.
Yeah, it is.
And then I saw that. And then there's another one right underneath it. Olivia Jade said something, so I got to click on that.
None of those are sponsored content?
No.
Get the scoop.
The juicy scoop.
Yeah. She feels like, of course she had to learn something from that whole thing. Her parents are morons.
She actually made the crew team.
Anyway, you want to get my attention. You don't scream fire in a crowded room. You just stand up and scream, my breasts will not stop growing.
What?
I can call. I will be there immediately.
Yeah, Megan, I'll get to you in a second.
Please, your breasts stop growing. This lady needs my help. But her breast won't stop growing. Lay down, ma'am, on your back, of course.
My God.
Good God. She needs our attention immediately. Everybody gather around, give her some air. Let these things breathe and grow. Yeah. You know, this guy's got a good point. He said that fan should have said to Tom Brady, hey, why don't you give me your Super Bowl ring from last year? I'll trade you.
Oh, man.
And then he said Brady probably won't give it to his twink kids, plus all that other stuff. That would be the only way I would have given it back if I was that guy. We can all say that now. But even I, on my rant and rampage, sitting in that front row with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers guy telling me this needs to go to the Hall of Fame. It's very important to the entire football
Your
system.
buddy brought you to the game. You've never been to one before.
Here you go.
I'm not even a fan.
There's another thing. Like, let's say Brady got me tickets. I'm in Mike Evans jersey. You're probably a fan because you're in a Mike Evans jersey.
Yeah,
that's
where
why you
he
got
was
it.
sitting.
And you've never sat in seats that good, and your friend hooked you up, or your boss.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, man, I want you to have this. And you give him that ball, and then he goes off and cashes in. Nope, that ball, you got to get selfish with that kind of stuff. Return on investment in sports is zero. It's really rare that you get a memento like that. Hang on to it. If Michael Jordan, if any athlete gives you his shoes as a rookie, you do not get rid of those until you find out how all this ends. Now, you could end up with an Emont Shumpert pair of shoes. You could end up with a pair of Chris Dudleys. You were an idiot to want those in the first place.
Travis Lee.
You never. Oh, the Travis. I have an autographed Travis Lee and Kareem Garcia ball. He was the original Diamondback.
Oh, I know. He's from Olympia, Washington, and when that was going on up there, everybody up there was the same way. Get your Travis Lee gear. He's
Travis Lee
HOF.
was going to the Hall of Fame. Back's got the greatest player of all time. First base, Travis Lee. Crowd went nuts. Didn't know. You never saw him swing a bat.
Looked the part.
Looked great. Tall, thin, athletic.
Good kid.
I think he drove in the first Diamondbacks run. I think he had a home run, if I remember right, in that first game. Everybody's like, this is going to be great. He's going to be here forever. Horrible. But I have, like, Travis Lee autograph, baseball. I have so many bad autographs. I have a Pete Lecoq autograph. I'm like, he's a good dude.
It's worth something.
And you know what I know him for? A, his name's hilarious. B, his dad was Peter Marshall, the original host of the Hollywood Squares.
That's right.
Oh.
Pete Lecoq played for everybody. And I told him when I got the autograph, I'm like, we do kind of a Guadalupe Squares, Hollywood Squares thing on the show, if you want to be part of it. And he was too eager to say yes. And I'm like, this guy's got nothing going on. I wanted him to superstar me a little. Well, check with some people. Sounds interesting, but we'll see. But he was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. I'm like, too accommodating. I'm not going to ask him.
Coming at me a little strong.
He gave me his phone number. I remember I was standing with my friend Craig. He was like, Pete Lecoq just gave you his home phone number to play the Guadalupe Squares. I'm like, I know. He wants it too much. Now I know how women feel when we're way too aggressive. Well, he's after me too much. I needed him to be a little more coy. And now that I'm homosexual, I should get that number out and call Pete Lecoq back and then do one of them gay marriages and be Holmberg Lecoq.
And have your Steelers jersey.
Lecoq. And it would be Lecoqtober. All month long. Just handies and BJs at the Lecoq Holmberg house. Because it's Lecoqtober.
That would be your pink jersey?
That would be it. I wear my Steelers pink. My breast cancer awareness Lecoq. Just because his dad's Peter Marshall. Which I found fascinating. Anyway, what do you got on the big board of musical treats over there, bro?
All right, Wake Up Song brought to you guys by our buddies over there at Action Ride Shop. They are slammed with inventory right now. So if you're looking to get into a new bike or rent one or just get all the accessories, they even got some new clothing line out too. All the action,
great
hoodies
stuff.
And all kinds of cool stuff.
They didn't have my size in two of the shirts I wanted last time.
Oh, really?
I need to go back down there.
Yeah, you better get in there.
And you said that they're jam-packed with people and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're slammed. Oh.
And to Josh and the gang down there at Action Ride Shop, you're welcome.
Yeah, they were slammed with. I mean, a lot of these places can't get the bikes in now. Josh has got it all in there.
Josh is cerebral. He's one of those guys that he even told me about that months ago. He goes, "There's no product, so I'm ordering like triple and getting what I can." And they're loaded up with merch that because the bike shop by my house has a sign that says we have no new bikes.
Yeah,
wow.
Like what we have is an order. Like you look at it, we're not selling you this bike. We're selling you. You know, we'll order it for you, but we need to keep stuff on the floor. They don't have anything.
They got plenty of Huffies.
And you don't want to ride a bike right now. I want to be on my bike right now. This weather is perfect. The only problem with it is everybody else wants to be out there, too.
Yeah.
So you're clogging up my house.
So
get off my mountain.
They got your pivots. They got your Rocky Mountains, Santa Cruz, Konas, and even if you got like an off-brand bike, you need to get some service on it, they'll take care of you. Best wrenches in town over there on Gilbert and Southern. So actionrideshop.com is where you get a hold of them. All right, Bloodhound Gang on the list. Sabaton, Prodigy, Apocalyptica, Godsmack, Rollins Band, Slipknot, 18 Visions, Soil. Yeah, we played them for a minute. AC/DC Money Talks for the Brady Ball guy.
Oh, yeah.
Anthrax.
I got Nick the Beard. Doesn't work here anymore, but Nick used to. And he sent me a thing. He said, not sure if you've heard of this. Don Brocco. Have you heard of Don Brocco?
I've not.
A song called Uber. I can't stop listening to it. It's all over the map.
You can't stop.
I love it. And he sent it to me, and it's the most aggressive song about ride sharing I've ever heard in my life. But it's not like a joke song. These guys are it's British. It's ridiculous. I wanted to throw that in. I forgot. It's the wake-up song. But Nick asked about that, and he's like, listen to this. And I listened to it once. I'm like, I love this. And then I listened again. It gets better every time I listen to it. I don't know if it was just the mood I was in or what, but I completely loved it. But Don Brocco, and I thought, Brett would love this. It's almost Donnie Brasco. No, jeez.
I don't give a fuck.
No, jeez, you're playing the worst possible part.
There's no clean one. Jeez.
Well, so much for that one.
I didn't know you were going to jump right into the meat.
Man, well, I didn't know what it was either.
I knew it was in there, but I thought in the beginning you could give me a little taste of the tune. And good Lord, man, you played the F-bombs over and over. Anyway, give it a listen at home, unless you've got 10
Sounds
careers.
impressive.
B-R-O-C-O, Don Brocco.
Don Brocco. Toledo, clean that up. Maybe we'll give it a run later.
Okay.
In the meantime, one of these songs here can navigate cleaner than that. Money Talks is always thought. It's a pretty good one, but I don't know. What do you want to hear? You know what's funny about this? I'm looking at this list, and we got 4 of the bands up there that are going to be featured at the Night of the Singing Dead Saturday night.
Slipknot, Audio Slave.
Slipknot. You got
Prodigy.
a little Audio Slave.
AC/DC.
AC/DC. Some Prodigy could mix itself in there.
Are you guys doing Prodigy?
We're working on a little Prodigy.
Nice.
We might have a Prodigy song. We might not. But 3 of them are for sure.
You know.
Bloodhound Gang's the 4th.
Huh?
Bloodhound Gang's the 4th.
Yep, that's
They got to
it.
be missing somebody.
Somebody from that group died,
Some
right?
lady's dead in that group.
No, we've got, 3 for sure. I thought I saw a 4th. Prodigy was on the list, but I don't think we're going to do it because I think we replaced it with Static X again because it's just so much fun to try to scream through that and sweat. And that Wayne Static's dead. Those are good ones. Yeah. If you want to go to that, it's a Saturday night. It's the best party in town. It's just, it's over at Copper Blues downtown.
Tickets are going fast.
Copper Blues Live downtown. Get VIP tickets and get yourself some Cha-Ching Chavez right there at your table. They'll just cover that for you.
Nice.
That's good stuff. It's all for the Humane Society, too, so it's great. Tickets on sale at copperblueslive.com. Just thought I'd throw that little plug in there.
There you go.
It slipped in. See what I did there, Bert? See what I did? Smooth up. And a special guest, a recent passing, will be on stage with us. It's going to be great. She said it was the last thing she wanted to do, but her boyfriend made it so she couldn't. So we'll have a little special guest right there on stage. It's going to be fantastic.
Nice.
Can't wait. Going to sing a special song to her. Little Benny Mardones going out to our little friend. Because Benny thinks she's John Bonet. He's not sure what's going on. He just thinks she grew up. He likes him a little bit older, but not quite. As evidenced by his one-hit song.
Big, red, and badass.
It's the natural way radio should be.
98.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Cast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.